Hi, my name is Amy Hawes, and I manage the WealthWorks Northwest program for rural development initiatives.
Hi, I'm Mallory Ray, Extension Community Economist at Oregon State University.
We're excited to present this 4-part video series called WealthWorks in Action. We adapted the material for these videos from community-based workshops.
We hope they're a resource for anyone, but these videos have been designed for people who have a basic understanding of WealthWorks and are looking to apply this approach in their communities.
Okay, let's get started. The 4 videos in this series include Introduction to WealthWorks, Selecting a Sector and Defining a Market Opportunity, Mapping and Analyzing a Value Chain, and Analyzing Market Demand. These videos explore topics that are interrelated, and we recommend that viewers watch them in the order presented here. For more detailed information about the overall WealthWorks approach, please see the wealthworks.org website. Welcome to Selecting a Sector and Defining a Market Opportunity. In the WealthWorks approach to economic development, communities select sectors and identify specific market opportunities within those sectors that can build wealth in their regions. This video provides guidance on selecting a sector in your region and narrowing your focus to a specific market opportunity with the potential to generate long-lasting benefits for your community. The WealthWorks approach offers an inclusive, grassroots approach to economic development. In WealthWorks, we measure success through the achievement of 3 goals. 1, building multiple forms of wealth that create household and community benefits. 2, increasing local ownership and control of assets so wealth stays in the region. And 3, improving livelihoods, particularly for people who are struggling to engage in the economy. WealthWorks makes progress towards these goals by finding opportunities to develop a region's assets to meet a market demand. For example, in Oregon, many small craft beer brewers want malt created from locally grown barley. Their beers are then sold to a wide range of buyers. So, products that are rooted in the local assets of a region can be connected to local, regional, or even global markets. This identified market opportunity is pursued by strengthening the partnerships of businesses and other stakeholders that are needed to bring this good or service to market in a way that produces a broad set of benefits, and this set of partnerships is what we call a WealthWorks value chain. For example, with the shared goal of stabilizing small businesses and raising incomes for mill operators and loggers, a Central Appalachian group focused on developing the value chain for sustainably harvested wood products. Through deliberate planning and investments, the group was able to pursue new products and certifications that enhances the individual, intellectual, social, and natural capitals in the region. One of the first steps in getting started on a WealthWorks process is to choose a sector of the economy that has potential to build multiple forms of wealth for your region. You then need to narrow your focus within the sector to a manageable market opportunity. The following slides are designed to help you understand this process better.
So what do we mean by the word sector? We use the word broadly to describe an area of the economy in which businesses share the same or related products or services, such as agriculture, tourism, or energy. Sectors are broad categories made up of many products and services, and each product or service has its own value chain, or its own path from producer to consumer. For example, the livestock sector includes value chains for different species, such as sheep, cows, and poultry, and also for different products, such as meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. The tourism sector includes a wide range of value chains too, such as adventure tourism, culinary tourism, and beach tourism. Some sectors contain many value chains, and some only a few. Your goal in a WealthWorks process is to first select a sector, and then narrow your focus to a value chain with the greatest potential to build multiple forms of wealth that generate long-lasting benefits for your community. This is your market opportunity. For example, a region may start by considering the tourism sector, but eventually focus on the rural bicycle tourism value chain as its market opportunity. Other examples of narrowing the focus include starting with grains and narrowing down to the malting barley value chain for beer production, starting with biofuels and narrowing down to the camelina-based fuels value chain, starting with textile manufacturing and narrowing down to high-end green clothing. Note that even some of these starting points are subsectors. Grains is a subsector within agriculture, and biofuels is a subsector within energy. Keep in mind that you are working on systems nested within other systems, and the trick is to find the right size that is small enough to be manageable, but large enough to make an impact. This focus will likely change over time, so you may zoom in for a while to focus on one market opportunity, and then widen the lens to look at how this work may have opened up opportunities in another value chain. Or find that success with this value chain might depend on another value chain. For example, the seafood sector may depend on developing access to cold storage, and developing cold storage may open up opportunities in other sectors, such as meat and other food products. In our experience, most groups seem to err on the side of not narrowing the focus enough, as opposed to focusing in too much. And if you don't get it right the first time, then you can adjust your focus as you go. Practitioners across the U.S. have been using the WealthWorks approach to develop many different types of value chains across sectors. This work of selecting a sector and narrowing the focus goes hand in hand with mapping value chains and analyzing demand. See the final 2 videos in this series to better understand these 3 interrelated activities. Sectors and value chains have a geographic dimension that may also influence your focus. The region you work in should generally be defined by assets and related economic activity as opposed to political boundaries. You need to manage stakeholders' energy and time carefully. This may be easier by focusing on a smaller geographic area and sector of focus initially, and then reaching out to more partners and a wider area over time. That said, you should be thinking about scale from the beginning of the process, since you are looking for opportunities that can grow to have a significant impact in the long term. So narrowing your focus requires balancing a number of factors: geographic scope, specific challenges and opportunities the value chain presents, stakeholder commitment, and your identified markets.
So how do you go about selecting a sector and market opportunity? Here are some steps that might help you with this process. Step 1 is defining your target group and goals. Step 2 is comparing market opportunities. Step 3 is preliminary demand research. And Step 4 is facilitating a stakeholder decision-making process. Step 1 is to determine the target group you want to benefit from this work and to define your goals. Let's start with the target group. Who do you want to benefit most from this work? Is it youth or minorities, poor farmers or fishermen? The goals around wealth building, local ownership, and livelihoods will then be driven by the needs of this group. What assets does this group have to build from, and what do they need? They might have natural assets, such as land, but need financial resources to develop them or greater skills and connections to reach markets. Or they might have skills, but need more access to financial and natural resources. What kind of local ownership is a priority for this group? Small business ownership, greater control over local natural resources? For improving livelihoods, what is the priority? If you have to decide between many low-paying jobs or fewer higher-paying jobs, which will impact the target group the most? These decisions will guide your choice of sector and value chain. Many WealthWorks practitioners aim to focus on high-growth and labor-intensive sectors that can create decent and profitable work for those struggling most to participate in the economy. Now to Step 2, comparing market opportunities. Defining selection criteria can help you decide among multiple options and also show you the strengths and weaknesses of various options. We recommend that you include 3 categories of criteria. The first is relevance to the target group. Is the target group already involved in or familiar with a particular sector? Or if not, is there potential for greater inclusion? Does the market opportunity offer potential to create more and better work opportunities and reduce poverty for the target group? Also, are there high costs to entry, such as needing an expensive piece of equipment or license that most people in the target group will not be able to afford? The second category is wealth building potential. Is there sufficient market demand to support many businesses and growth over time? Will there be opportunities to expand local ownership and control over assets? And can multiple forms of wealth be built that will benefit the entire community? And then the third category is the feasibility to intervene. Can the targeted sector or value chain be changed? And does your initiative have the resources and influence to make those changes happen? If it helps, you can use a matrix such as this one to weigh your potential opportunities. The most important thing is that you consider these larger criteria to be sure you are selecting a market opportunity with the greatest potential for impact.
Once you have a short list of sectors or market opportunities, you will want to do some preliminary market demand research to better understand them and decide where to focus. See another video in this series, Analyzing Demand, to help guide this process. Two important aspects of this process are that 1, it is a research process based on market information, and 2, that it is a participatory process that involves a range of stakeholders, including local businesses and representatives of your target group. You want to be sure that you are building buy-in and support, and that the decisions about where to focus have broad ownership. And finally, there is one more important criteria. People need to be excited about the direction you are moving in. With energy and excitement behind the decision, you will see progress moving forward. You can find more resources related to this topic here and by exploring the WealthWorks.org website. Thank you.